Right now, there's a really tense standoff happening between a handful of global powers, and honestly, the consequences could affect every single one of us. The stakes are incredibly high, so let's break down exactly what's going on, and more importantly, why you should care.
You know, the source material we're looking at today doesn't pull any punches. It kicks off with this incredibly powerful line. The world is once again entering a period of uncertainty and tension. Wow, I mean, that one sentence really sets the stage and captures the seriousness of what we're about to get into.
So, how did we get to this point, to this fragile balance? Well, it all starts with understanding the key players who are right at the center of this whole drama.
We're looking at a super complex web of alliances and, well, rivalries. First, you've got the United States, obviously a global superpower. Then there's Iran and Israel, two regional giants that are locked in this really bitter feud. And then you have Pakistan, kind of caught in a delicate spot right in the middle of everything.
But look, the tensions we're seeing today didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Not at all. To really get what's happening right now, we've got to look back. So, let's dive into this old rivalry.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the conflict. It's a fundamental clash of how they see the world. From Israel's perspective, Iran's growing military power and its influence across the Middle East are seen as like an existential threat. But if you flip it and look from Iran's side, they see Israel as an aggressive extension of Western power, basically propped up by the US.
And, that view isn't coming from nowhere. The United States and Israel have a long, deep alliance with consistent political and military support. This backing has been a massive factor in shaping the power balance over there, helping make Israel one of the most powerful military forces in the entire Middle East.
So, that's the backstory, a rivalry that's been simmering for decades. But recently, it's started to boil over. And that brings us to part 3. The conflict heats up. What we're seeing is this really dangerous tit-for-tat cycle. It reportedly started with these targeted strikes against Iranian-linked targets, which, by the way, are widely believed to have been carried out by Israel. Iran's response was quick and very clear, a promise to hit back hard. And that, in turn, is what led the US to visibly ramp up its own military presence in the area.
Yeah, and this isn't just for show. We're talking about real military muscle being moved into position. Warships, strategic aircraft, top-of-the-line defense systems, the whole shebang. This is the U.S. sending a very, very clear signal that it is ready for things to escalate.
Okay, so this is where the plot thickens a little bit, because we have to bring in another player that's in a uniquely tricky spot. Let's talk about their precarious position. I mean, just think about the tightrope Pakistan has to walk here. On one side, it has deep cultural and economic links with its neighbor, Iran, but on the other, it's got this long-standing diplomatic relationship with the United States. This balancing act puts Pakistan in an incredibly tough position, for sure, but it also means it could be a crucial go-between, maybe the only one that could get everyone to step back from the edge. So why should someone living halfway across the planet even care about all this? Well, that's what our final section is all about, the global consequences. Because, let's be real, a conflict in this region would send massive shockwaves everywhere. It could totally disrupt oil supplies, which would send prices through the roof and fuel inflation all over the world. But honestly, the even scarier part is the risk that other major powers, like China and Russia, could get dragged into it, turning a regional conflict into a global nightmare.
And that is exactly what makes this moment so incredibly tense. The situation is just so fragile. A single wrong move, a miscalculation, an accidental strike, any one of those things could be the spark that ignites a full-blown war. And even though there are diplomatic talks happening behind the scenes, the world is truly on a knife's edge.
Which brings us to the final, really critical question our source material leaves us with. It's the question that's just hanging over everything. As diplomats scramble and armies watch and wait, is the world on the brink of war? Or is there still hope for peace? The truth is, we just don't know yet.